welcome everyone. I'm so glad you could join us today. This is one of our Money Smart Week programs, and this one's going to be a treat for you. So we are looking at making smart spending choices with our presenter today, Lori Naglowski. Now, it looks like we might have a little bit of a frozen camera, so bear with us for that. Lori, can you still hear us?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like your camera froze, but no worries. So while the folks are getting settled into the chat, do keep an eye on that chat. Let yourselves, if you have a question, type that into there. We will have that Q&A going at the end. I see we still have a couple of people popping in, so we're gonna get folks into the room here. Well, thank you all so much for joining us for this Money Smart Week program. We've got our presenter today, Lori Naglowski, who's going to take us on a little budgeting and saving adventure with a kind of a cool pibble. So, Lori, I'm going to hand it over to you to start sharing your screen, and I'm going to turn my face off so that you guys can focus on what's important here.
Okay, give me just a second and let me share my screen with you.
Sure thing.
So there you go. Can you see it okay now?
There we go. I see
Okay.
a pretty pibble face.
Yes, and you might see him live in person because he's sleeping right next to me. So
I might have a cameo from mine as well.
And you might hear him as well too. Well, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Lori Naglowski, and I am a certified financial planner with Laurel Wealth Management. And one of the things that I do is I help people save, and I help people learn how to fill their piggy banks to help them meet any of their financial goals or to buy anything that they're looking to. And tonight I'm really excited because I'm going to introduce making smart spending choices, and I'm going to introduce you to my dog Bronny. So first of all, let me introduce you to Bronny. And so Bronny is he's 5 years old. He is a rescue pit bull. We actually rescued him because we saw him running along Highway 301, and we stopped and picked him up, and we didn't have anyone claim him, and he fit right into our family, so he was really meant to be with us. He lives in Thanonasassa, and he has a sister named Katie. He loves to wear fun collars, and you can see that he's wearing one in the picture, and he likes to change them out for every single holiday. His favorite toy is a blue lion, and he's a really good boy. And so that's really important to know about Bronny. And so today what I want to talk about is, Bronny has some things that he wants. He really likes to, let's see if we can get this up. So first thing is he wants another new collar because he loves to change them with the seasons. We've got summer coming up. So his little mustache collar may not fit the bill for the summer, so he's looking at getting a new collar. Second thing is he would like a really new ball. And if you look at this ball, this is supposed to be a red ball, but Bronny left it outside. It's been out in the sun. I think it's been run over by the lawnmower a couple times, and it just has a funny sound and doesn't quite bounce like it used to. So he'd really like to get a new ball. The third thing is he'd like a bone. And so if you look at his bone, he's chewed through it quite a bit. So those are his 3 favorite things, and those are the things that he'd like to look at buying some new ones of. So whenever you're making a decision about what to spend and what you can buy, the first thing that we do is that we need to make a budget. And so with a budget, that's going to tell us what our maximum amount of money that we have. And for Bronny, his budget's going to be based on what's in his piggy bank. And so here's his piggy bank. He's been saving up his money all year, and we're going to see how much money he has. So we can count it out. He has $1. He has $2. He has $3. He has $4. Nope, there's a $5. Oh, let's see, that's a 5. So he has $10 to spend right now. And I think he has one more bill in his piggy bank. Oh, there we go. So he has a $10 bill. So now he has $20 in his piggy bank. And so that's going to be the most money that he can spend. And then that's going to set his budget. So we're going to go the next step that we're going to do. Oh, I think I have that. Good. $20. We have $20 to spend. So the next thing that we need to do when Bronny is looking for his 3 items is we've got his budget down. Now we've got to pick out the stores that we're going to go to and how we're going to do the shopping. So our next slide is let's go shopping. So you have a lot of options with shopping. You can go into a physical store. You can look online. This is kind of old, but you can look through catalogs or you can look through the newspaper. There are a lot of places that you can go there to look for different prices. But with Bronny having a budget of $20 only to spend on these 3 items, we want to see how much each of these items we can get for the lowest cost. And it may be that we need to go to a couple different places to find it. We may need to look and see if we have a coupon that's able for us to make the price a little bit lower, or we can maybe wait a little bit longer and see if it goes on sale or something like that. So for the first item that we're going to look at, and that's going to be his red ball. And so there's 3 different places that we're going to go shopping for the new red ball. And so we found that at Pets R Us, which is the first place that we visited, that the red ball costs $9. And so since Bronny has $20 to spend, if he were to buy the new red ball at Pets R Us, he would have $11 left. And that would be $11 that he could go and he could buy his collar and his bone with. At Katie's Pet Shop, that same red ball cost $8. So he would have an extra dollar to spend if he went to Katie's Pet Shop to buy his new red ball. And then the third place that he can look at is Barks a Lot. So Barks a Lot costs a little bit more. It's $10 for the red ball. So by looking at this, if we were to choose the new red ball, going to Katie's Pet Shop would allow us to have the most money to be able to go towards the other 2 items, which are the bone and his collar. Oh, there we go with the red ball. Katie's Pet Shop has an $8 cost, and that's the lowest for the red ball. Okay, and so then we get to a new bone. And so how much would it cost for us to have the new bone? So we will go to Pets R Us, it's $12. If we go to Katie's Pet Shop, it is $13. And Barks a Lot is $11. And so you can see that Pets R Us, where they had the lowest, or Katie's Pet Shop, which had the lowest price on the first item, now has a little bit more, a higher price. And so it might not make sense for us to buy both items at Katie's Pet Shop, because looking at this slide, we can see that Barks a Lot actually has the lowest price at $11. And again, we have $20 to spend. So if he chooses the new bone and he goes to Barks a Lot, he's only going to have $9 left to spend. And then that $9 is going to either be on the new collar or it's going to be on the ball. And we know from the previous slide that if he did decide to buy the new bone, he would have enough money to buy a ball. However, he's not going to have anything to really buy a collar with. All right, and then this is actually Bronny's collection of collars, and he would like to add to his collection. So he would like to buy a new collar. And so we're going to look at 3 of the shops to do it at. We're going to look at Pets R Us, which has the collars for $9. And then we're going to look at Katie's Pet Shop, which is $12. And then Barks a Lot, which is $13. So Pets R Us has the lowest price here. I'll highlight that for you. And so if we were to choose the new collar, which is the $9, again, we would have $11 left to spend, and that's going to be between the bone and the collar. But then we don't have enough money to buy we don't have enough money to buy the collar. We can't buy all 3 of them. We can only pick between 2 because he doesn't have enough money in his piggy bank. So that means he's going to have to make some decisions about which one is the best for him. And so here we can look at all of the 3 different options that he has. So he has, for the red ball, He has Pets R Us at $9, Katie's Pet Shop at $8, Barks a Lot at 10, and Katie's Pet Shop has the lowest price, which is 8. The second option was the bone, and the bone is $12 at Pets R Us. Katie's Pet Shop is $13, and then Barks a Lot is $11. And then finally, we have the collar. And so the collar is $9 at Pets R Us. It's $12 at Katie's Pet Shop and $13 at Barks a Lot. So if you look at all three, we can see which one has the lowest cost. And we're going to have to go to 3 stores in order to get all of the items in order to get the lowest cost on them. He does have some options, so he's not going to be able to buy all 3. There's no way, in order for him to buy all of them, it would cost more than the $20 that he has. And so he's very, oops, so you heard one song. He's very budget conscious, and so he only wants to, he doesn't want to go over what he has. If he wants to buy all 3 of them, he's going to have to earn some more money, and his piggy bank is going to have more money in it. So if you look at the red ball and the bone, that's his number 1 option. So in order to buy those 2, it would cost $19. And since he has $20, he would have $1 left in his piggy bank to go towards something else. And maybe that would be the savings to buy the collar. So if he bought the red ball in the collar, that means that he would have $17 and he would have $3 left in his piggy bank to be able to go and buy the bone. And then if he had the collar and the bone, which is the most expensive of the 2 options, that means that he would have to spend $20 and he wouldn't have anything left in his piggy bank. So Bronny has to make a choice. He's not able to take the money. He doesn't have enough money to buy all 3. He really wants all 3, but he's going to have to look at the 3 items that he has and decide which is the most important to him, because he can't buy them all today. So which option do you think that Bronny chose? So Bronny, from the pictures you might see, he really loves balls. He really wanted to have a new ball. And the other option was his bone. So he was able to buy a bone and a ball. And if we go back and look at the other slide, so he chose the red ball and the bone for $19. And that means he has $1 left in his piggy bank. So there we go. He's got his $1 left in his piggy bank. So Bronny had to make some decisions about it. So when you're making smart spending choices, the first thing you have to do is set a budget. And sometimes your budget is driven based on what you have in your piggy bank, but it also could be driven by what you want to buy. So you can either start with, I have this amount of money, like we did with Bronny. He had $20 and that's how much he was able to spend. And that's the most he was able to spend. And then he had to make some decisions about it. Or you can start the other way and you can say, I want to buy, and we'll go back to that slide. So we can go back to that slide. So he could have said, well, I really want to buy all 3. So I need 9 plus 8 plus 11. So he's going to need $28 in order to buy all of them. So he could take his piggy bank and he could save until he had the $28 to buy all of the items that he wanted. And so that's 2 ways that you can set a budget. But in Bronny's case, he had the $20 and that's what he spends. And that's what's really important. And when you're making smart spending choices, it's looking at things that you want or things that you need. In this case, Bronny wanted these 3 items. These aren't things that he necessarily needed. He had a red ball. It just wasn't exactly, it didn't bounce as well as he wanted it to, but the red ball would have been okay. And he'll probably leave it out again and it will get run over by the lawnmower again. And so he likes the bone. It was chewed up a little bit, but it probably had a little bit more life in it. And for the collar, he's got a lot of collars. We probably could have found one for him to wear this summer. So these were all items that he wanted, not an item that he needed. So if we were looking at something that he needed, and so maybe he lost his collar and he needed to have a new one and he didn't have another one, that would be a need, and that would push it up to, that would be the first thing that he would want to save for. But in Bronny's case, we have all of these wants, and he was able to make a decision, and he made the decision that was best for him. So if there was another like Katie, our other dog, she doesn't like balls as much. And she does like collars, so she probably would have made a different decision on how to spend her money. And that's okay. There's not one way to spend your money. It's all about what's important to you and staying within your budget. And so that's the end of the presentation. I'm glad that you were able to meet Bronny. So does anyone have any questions?
All right, so while you're getting your questions typed into the chat box there, Miss Vivian's going to keep an eye on that for me. But in the meantime, I'll tell you something about some more critters and money. If you want to look into some more of this at home, learn some more about saving money and being smart with it, we have the Money Bunny books. It's a series by Cinders McLeod. We have those as physical books in the library, but we also have it as digital audiobooks to listen to on Hoopla. So check those out, the Money Bunny series by Cinders McLeod. Those are super cute, super fun. I mean, maybe not as cute as a Pibble with a budget, but still lots of fun. All right, Miss Vivian, how are we doing with that Q&A?
Okay, so we do have a question that came in. And one of the questions was, how would the dog earn his money?
Well, so Bronny, let's see, how did Bronny earn his money? So he could sell things. I mean, he is a puppy, so he probably, maybe he gives kisses. I mean, that's something that Bronny likes to do. And so he likes to give kisses and hugs. And so that's how Bronny probably earned his money. But but for you, that might not be the right thing. There are some things that you can do to earn money. There are lots of kids who, I was at one of the library presentations that I did last year, and I think she was in the 1st or 2nd grade, and she came up and told me about her business that she had. She made earrings and she sold them all over the place. And she went to some of the weekly markets and would put out her earrings, and that's how she sold them. So making crafts, there's always things that can be done around your house with chores and for doing extra things for your neighbors. So there's some ways that you can make some money.
Maybe Bronny had a parent who got him into some modeling, some lucrative puppy modeling careers.
Yeah. He likes to sleep a lot too, so I'm not sure.
Ooh, professional snoozer.
Yeah, I guess it could be a model for a calendar. I've seen some of the rescue calendars, so he could do that.
Maybe a puppy collar influencer.
That's true. Yeah, he could be on Instagram.
And I guess the other question is it was similar. Just what are easy ways to earn money for kids? So
yeah. I mean, you have to look at what your child, is interested in. And one of the things that when I've talked to parents about it is let them make the decision about what they want to do. And sometimes we look at it and say, that's not going to work. That's not a good idea. Let's do something different. But when you get into entrepreneurship, part of it is learning what doesn't work. It doesn't mean let your child do what they want. I had my cousin's son she was telling me, yeah, he just wants to make this some kind of goo or something like that. But I didn't think it was a good idea. And I told her, wait a second, he may know the market better than you do. He knows what his friends want. And so keep that in mind when you're talking to your kids about ways that they can earn money. If they come to you with an idea, instead of just dismissing it, walk it through with them. Try to understand why they think that's a good product. And maybe there's some ways that it can be a good product. They might know the market much better than you do. And if they do go out and it doesn't work, it doesn't sell, that's a lesson they learned. Part of this is not to be you go out and you sell every single thing that you make in one day and it's a big hit and they make all the money that they need. Part of it is learning, and that's what you have to that's what you have to do. I'm an entrepreneur. Those are things that I have to learn too, is it doesn't always work. So you like to bake, but how do you get the word out? Well, there's some places that you might be able to talk to your parents and have them talk to their friends at their office. It could be your neighbors. It could be the parents of your friends. It could be your school. It's really, you could make, you could come up with a flyer. You can go on a computer and you could come up with a name for your company that you bake for, come up with a name, and then print some things out and then hand it out to people as you see them, or people that you know. Sometimes with things like baking, I like to bake gingerbread houses, and that's the favorite thing that I do during Christmas. And I have people who ask me to bake them now for them. I do it completely for fun, but it had nothing to do with me advertising. It was all word of mouth. So maybe you can make some samples and give some samples out to people, and then they'll say, wow, that's really good. I think I'd like to have one myself too. And so that's a way to start. If you're able to be on social media, you can look at what other people have done with like their baking and just take pictures of it and let other people know about it.
I really like the idea of the kids working on making a flyer and practicing those writing and handwriting skills. That's a really good idea to practice with the flyer making.
Yeah, it's word of mouth is probably going to be, if you have a good product and you let people try it, that's going to be the best way to get your message around.
So we have somebody asking if they can show their dog. No, I'm sorry. We don't have cameras on for attendees. I am sure that your puppy is super adorable. But yeah, no cameras for the attendees. Sorry. You can tag us on social media if you like. If you want to post your puppy doing their finances, you can definitely tag us there. We've got some adorable pups in the chat there. So yeah, tag us on social media if you post your dog.
Yes, I'd like to
starting
see
up their own
too.
puppy business.
Yes, yeah. Tell me what your puppy is doing to make some money and what they would buy from the money in their piggy bank. Thank you.
All right, I think that wraps us up for our Q&A. Lori, any parting words for us as we wrap it up here?
No.
All right. Well, folks, if you have any questions, we've got Lori's contact on here. Laurel Weltman, laurelwm.com is the website. You need to reach out, but you can always reach the library at hcplc.org/contact or 813-273-3652. Or find more upcoming events on our events calendar, including very soon to be released summer reading programs. Keep your eye out for that. hcplc.org/events. All right, folks, if we have no more questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and thank Lori so much for joining us and sharing the super cute adventures with Bronny. We love that.
Well, thank you for having me. And Bronny says thank you for having him too.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay,
we'll see you next
too.
time.
Goodbye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.